We're here to lay some foundational things to teach and learn, to understand the value of communication, learn some cultural, foundational things that we believe are important to team building, to get to know one another, to get some football conditioning in. There's a myriad of things that we have an opportunity to do in a setting like this. Just appreciative of it and excited about continuing to get started and to get to know these guys better individually and collectively, to get to know ourselves better. It's a good foundational time for our players, but it's also a good foundational time for coaches as individuals, collectively, gaining cohesion that's required to work in a co-op environment to train these guys. G'day, guys. Welcome back to Pittsburgh Steelers Syndicate. I'm your host, Mark, and we are here to lay the foundation. Mike Tomlin in a press conference today. The OTAs are started. The OTAs are in the books. Day one is done and dusted. The fellas are back in. I'm not too sure if they're wearing pads, but the fellas are wearing black and gold. They've got the helmets on. They're catching footballs. They're pushing the sleds up. They're doing the workouts. They are back in action. And Mike Tomlin is saying the Pittsburgh Steelers are here to lay the foundation. He goes on to say, all of us out here are laying some foundational things and getting better. And it was a good day from that perspective. And we won't try to draw to too many conclusions. We'll just keep rolling that ball out and keep working. So what he's trying to say, guys, is don't look into it too much. It is really just the OTAs. It isn't minicamp. It isn't, training camp just yet. It's the first day of, practice, or first day of organized team activities. It's really, to me, the first day of school. You're going back to school. You have the year 7, the year 10s, the year 12 guys all coming back. You're meeting your new classmates for the first time. You're meeting your new teacher, or the coach, right? All these fellas are getting back to action and back to work. And what Tomlin is saying is pretty much spot on. They're just laying the foundational work. They're laying the pieces so we can start to build that house where we can hoist the Lombardi. We can put the Lombardi in that trophy case and get number 7. So it is quite interesting to hear Tomlin speak. He's pretty much like he's a wordsmith. Tomlin is a wordsmith. No matter what question he gets at him, he knows how to diffuse it, to jump around it. He probably does say a few words way too many times. I know for me personally, I use things of that nature, and that's definitely a Tomlinism. Tomlin was then asked about Stephon Tuitt's situation in his attendance, because Tuitt didn't show up today, nor did DJ Deontay Johnson. Stephon Tuitt didn't show up today, and this was Mike Tomlin's response. This is funny, right? He says pretty much, this is voluntary. That's it. That's all he says. This is voluntary. And it is true, guys. It is voluntary. The players don't need to show up to these activities. They can if they want to. If they want to get a jump start, they want to learn, be a part of the team, meet their mates, meet their teammates, and start things from there. But if they have personal things going on, contract disputes, injuries, or family issues going on, maybe they haven't got a chance to go to these OTAs. But come minicamp in a few weeks' time, they have to go to them. And I think training camp, they have to as well. Otherwise, they start to get fined. But it is interesting also that Tomlin was asked about the quarterback room. He was asked about the quarterback room, who would be quarterback 1, quarterback 2, 3, or 4. He was asked about the depth chart. And another good response from Tomlin, right? He said, we're working right now. We're teaching, we're learning. And there'll be plenty of time for that. There'll be plenty of time to reorganize the depth chart, to see who's going to, win the job. He said, this is the funnest part. He said, nobody's going to win the job, or lose a job out here in shorts in May. So pardon me if I don't give you what you're looking for. So Tomlin goes on to say, well, it's only May. We just got out in the field. We literally just walked out in the field for the first time in about 5 months as a team. And you're asking me about, camp battles. Tomlin doesn't care about that. He doesn't care about what is happening. He also went on to say too, they asked him about the center position, right? They asked him about the center position, and who would be center number 1, and the same kind of answer. I don't know that I'm looking. I don't know that I'm looking forward here in May. Again, like a lot of things, we're just laying some foundational things and teaching and learning and identifying uh, candidates for roles as opposed for divvying up their labor. And it's just so factual, you know. I know as fans we want to know right now who's going to be center, who's going to be cornerback number one, who's going to be quarterback number one, right? You know, and on that topic as well, there's a video going around on YouTube. I think the YouTube channel is All Steelers Talk, and Kevin Dotson is being interviewed by reporters, and they ask him the question. They said, "Is it tricky to have, to customize yourself to having 3 or 4 starters under center, and you have to get used to that person?" And Kevin Dotson, Kevin Dotson said this. He said this, right? He said they pretty much said it already that Mitch is going to be number one. We're going to take what we get. We don't really care who's behind us when it comes down to it. We're going to play hard regardless of who's behind us. And then he went on to say this as well. Team-wise, they pretty much made that decision, Dotson said. So that video is from All Steelers Talk on YouTube. Type that in and you'll see that video. But I do find that pretty amusing that on one aspect, Tomlin is trying to say, we're laying the foundation and we're not jumping the gun to who we're going to name and what kind of role for QB or center or defense or wherever. And on the other side, once Kevin Dotson was interviewed, he said, well, pretty much we know who the quarterback's going to be. It's going to be Trubisky. So have we found out who our quarterback is going to be with Trubisky? My personal opinion, I think we have. I think we already knew that Trubisky was going to be QB1. I think unless Pickett comes out and absolutely balls, like he's the best player available in that locker room for QB, then you go with him. Otherwise, I think Trubisky will find his way into quarterback one. So OTA guys, man, OTAs, they're fun. It's the first time we see the players back in action, wearing the black and gold. We have Tomlin trying to jump around the answers and trying to get through the press conference as best they can. Mason Rudolph gave a shout out to Dwayne Haskins and said it was really, really weird. Said it was really weird without him being in the locker room. He also went on to say, well, he's got experience too. That Rudolph has experience and has a chance to maybe be quarterback number one. They talked to Trubisky about being quarterback number one. All these things are starting to come together. They come together, but it is very funny how Tomlin deals with these kind of things. And I'll bring it up one last time. It's voluntary. It's all voluntary, right? So right now we can't jump the gun too fast to say who was there, who wasn't there, what does it all mean. But it's very exciting to see the Pittsburgh Steelers back in action, wearing the black and gold, and talking about the young players having an opportunity to go out there and compete, because that's what we want. We want the players to compete. I know I do. When I watch football on TV, and when I cheer my team on, I want people to compete and to win. That's what I want. I want people to play physical, hard, be skillful, and just go out there and have the desire to win. That's what I think it is. Even if you're not the best player, still have that desire to win, and you will go far. You'll go very far. So we'll see what happens over the next few days with OTAs. I think that's 1 out of 6, so there's 5 more OTAs left to happen in this next 2 weeks. But we're getting closer. It's your American summer. It's my winter. It's really cold and cloudy here and wet. But over there in the summer, you guys are getting in through your spring to summer, and then in 4 months' time, we have Pittsburgh Steelers football versus the Bengals. So, yeah, thanks guys for checking out the Pittsburgh Steelers Syndicate. Myself and Owen are having a good time talking about football, talking about the Steelers, and we enjoy the comments. We enjoy everyone hit the sub, doing all those things, right? Because we are We are laying the foundational things here. For this channel, we are trying to lay the foundation, get you guys a video every day or every second day as best we can. The podcast is going really well. This week on the podcast, hopefully we'll be talking about Stephon Tuitt and what does it mean for him not showing up? Does it mean anything? So we'll be focusing on Stephon Tuitt this week. This week will be Stephon Tuitt. And yeah, every other day, guys, we have myself, Owen, or we're talking football. That's what we're doing. We're laying the foundation, like Tomlin says. Laying the foundation. All right, guys, I'll see you later. Thank you for checking out the Pittsburgh Steelers Syndicate. Here we go, Steelers. Here we